Hey, my name's Al, and I've created a channel called Real Life Investing. And with this channel, I want to be able to talk about real life issues that are occurring. In the past, I've taught financial literacy at the high school level. I'm currently teaching math at the high school level as well. Um, but I've started this channel because I wanted to talk about finance and other real life issues. One of the things we want to look at with these issues is how they affect our country, our world, our lives, our families, everything we deal with. Um, the more I live, the more I realize that just about every decision that is made because of some type of financial issue or financial concern or financial ability. So that's one of the things you want to look at. But remember that I am not a financial advisor, and the information that we give here is not financial advice. So just keep that in mind. We do love the topics, we do love to discuss them, but at the same time, we do not claim to be financial advisors here. So just a little bit of a heads up on that. So let's just go ahead and start diving into one topic that I feel very passionately about, that I feel like people are not understanding or not getting enough information about. Not saying that they're, how can I say, they're not concerned, but one of the things we do have to dive into is the concern of life insurance. And a lot of us are like, oh my God, that's kind of obvious. It is. But you'll be surprised that right now in America, according to our statistics, over 100 million people, which is a lot of people in the United States, almost half the entire population has no life insurance. So that's really one very big thing to consider. And technically, if you wanted to do some, how can I say, recalculations, you'd probably say that most of the people in the United States do not have life insurance. So if you wanted to, how can I say, work with the statistics, being a mathematician or a math person, I know that the statistics can be skewed and changed. So that's one of the things we want to look at as well. So let's just go ahead and talk about it. But the big issue is that a lot of people are not covered, or they're not fully covered with their life insurance. Before we dive into the topic of life insurance in detail, I will just mention the fact that for me, preferably, I'd rather deal with whole life instead of term life. I feel like with a whole life policy that you're going to be able to get more in the long run. The problem with term life insurance is that as you go from like year to year, sooner or later you got to renew that term. And all of that renewal is going to be based on your health. So let's say you get up in age in like your 60s or 70s, God forbid something goes wrong with your health, you got an issue, and then all of a sudden you're not able to get a good policy because your health is so bad. They're like, oh, well, we can only insure you for this much because of the fact that you're basically uninsurable. But with the whole life, with the permanent life insurance, you'd be better off because if you get a policy, especially when you're young, once you get that policy rate, that rate will stay with you the whole time. And even with the cost of inflation, the rate will stay the same, but your policy amount will not change. So that's definitely something to consider. Whole life is much better because it is permanent insurance. You don't have to keep renewing over and over again with the term. Very stressful to make sure that, oh my God, let me not have any life-threatening, issues that are going to cause me to not get that insurance. So something to really consider. My personal thoughts, like I said, this is not financial advice, but I would prefer to get the whole. Personally, disclosure, I do have whole life over the term. I did have term at one time, but I felt like, okay, sooner or later this is going to play out, so might as well get the permanent material. All right, so let's dive in a little bit. Talk about why it's so important. And everybody knows why, but let's state the obvious. We want to be able to take care of our dependents after our death. There are a lot of people that I know of personally who are very bitter about the fact that the person that was their spouse or their loved one, person that they were taking care of, did not have enough insurance or did not have any insurance at all to cover funeral expenses, things of that nature. The problem with this is that when you deal with these types of issues, you've basically proven that either you're not a good provider or you're not a good preparer as far as that's concerned. You really make it so that people feel that you really did not care about your family. So we know that's not necessarily the case. We know that a lot of people just fall on hard times or hard issues, or that maybe their mind is not focused on that type of thing as much. But the thing about it is, like, at the end of the day, you have to deal with real issues. And the real issue is if the family is not prepared for your death, if they feel like they're having to meet a lot of obligations at your death, it's going to be some major issues and major problems if you haven't prepared yourself as well. So that's one of the things we want to look at. Want to be able to take care of the dependents, want to take care of those funeral obligations, because if you're not prepared, then it's going to be a big problem. Another thing we want to look at with that is that it also gives you the tax-free, how can I say, money to the beneficiaries. At least the family, if there is some money left over, can take that money and they can pay off your bills, pay off everything that may be, like outstanding, and make things a whole lot better. So that's one of the issues we want to look at as well. We don't want to be dealing with people that are having to pay obligations and having to pay for things, and things can't be covered. All of a sudden the house is not paid off, and oh my God, I don't have any money to pay off the house. These nice cars are in the yard, but I don't have enough money to get the cars paid for, so we're gonna have to repo them, or allow them to be repoed. All types of terrible things could be on the way or could be on the horizon if we're not taking care of our issues. So these are some things that we really have to be concerned about. Not saying that people don't, quote, care about their family, but the issue is that when you've not made the proper preparations, there is a huge issue. And you don't want that stain on your legacy saying that, oh, I didn't, or the family was not prepared, or the family is having to deal with certain issues. This person talked about this, that, and the third, but they're not even concerned about their own family. That is a huge blow. Not saying that people would intentionally do something evil like that, or pernicious, or vicious, or just out of animosity. But at the same time, when you don't prepare, you're going to have an issue. Not saying too much, but I know that, God willing, if I were to pass, man, I don't want to, I want to live as long as I can. But if I do pass, one of the things I can feel, comfortable about is the fact that my family could bury me 5 times over, because, I have set out the proper policy for them to deal with that. So we really want to be careful about this. Like I said, this is the first topic that we're discussing as of right now on the channel, but there will be further topics in the future as well. So one of the things that we're going to look at is making sure that you have the opportunity to share this information with someone else. So we want you to be able to share, like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. So make sure you click that like button before you leave, because every time you give us a like, you're going to give us the ability to spread our videos throughout the YouTube algorithm. So as the future occurs, make sure that you give us a lot of feedback, a lot of information as well. And what we do here will also be based on some of that feedback. So thank you for listening to our channel. Thank you for coming in just for a few moments to hear what we have to say. So I look forward to seeing you in later videos, and just ask you to have a great day.